Good evening, friends. I'm not even going to start this one by giving you a number because this is going to be well in advance, so I don't know where we're going to be. So we ran into a little bit of a snag with one of our recipes. It called for maraschino liqueur. I cannot find maraschino liqueur anywhere that is not an entire big bottle. That's way more than I'm willing to spend. That the recipe only calls for I think 1 ounce for 2 servings. So we're gonna DIY this and see how well it works. I found a recipe online for homemade maraschino liqueur. So we're gonna start with that and see what happens. So up in advance, what I found calls for 1 pound of maraschino to 3 cups of vodka. Again, I don't need that much for this, and I'm not gonna make that much to use in the future. So with what I had at home already, some maraschinos, I figured out I have 2.5 ounces of maraschino. That translated to 3.5 ounces of vodka. So that's what we're gonna try. So first we're gonna take our 2.5 ounces that I have of our cherries. It says to crush them. I'm just gonna grind them up in this first, and then they're gonna go into our mason jar. You can really use probably any kind of container, just something that you'll seal for a couple of weeks. Again, it calls for 4 weeks and then like daily kind of agitate the container. We only have about 2 weeks to do this, maybe 2.5 if we're lucky. So that's what we're gonna get out of this, and we're just gonna live with the result. But there's a lot more ingredients into the overall thing you'll see later. So I'm hoping this like 1 or 2 ounces that we need of this isn't gonna be the end of the world. So, okay, crushed up the cherries. I'm gonna transfer it into our jar. Maybe. All right, we got that. And again, putting with our proportions, 3.5 ounces of vodka right on top. All right, that's really just gonna be it for now. Seal this up. I don't believe it says to, store in a cool, dry place. So that doesn't necessarily mean don't refrigerate it. Just somewhere that's not going to be in heat or anything. And yeah, we're gonna come back to this in about 2.5 weeks for the next step, and then to continue on. So catch up with you in the future. Friends, happy weekend, happy Friday night. We are on episode 63 tonight. We're gonna hit Bam 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 this weekend because you're gonna find a nice surprise at the end of this one. We had to get dry ice for a few recipes, and it doesn't hold very long. So pretty much one night after another, we're gonna get through these. And our first one we're making tonight is called the Dark Arts. We went away this weekend for a little Halloween, some Halloween festivities, and so we're gonna kind of be making them for us and some friends. So to get started, we are gonna take 2 of our cocktail shakers with ice. In each of those, we are going to start with 3 ounces of light rum. Next, we're going to toss in 1 ounce each of lemon juice. And add right on top of that 1 ounce of lime juice. Almost to the end, we're going to sweeten it up. So each is going to get 2 ounces of simple syrup. Lastly, remember that maraschino liqueur, those cherries that we soaked 2 weeks ago? Well, we strained them at home, and this is what we got. So for each, 1/2 ounce of this maraschino homemade liqueur is going in. All right, now before we shake up, this is called the Dark Arts after all. We got to darken these up a little bit. So we could not find black food coloring actually, so we're just going to mix some colors. Going to put a couple drops of green, blue, and red in each. Hopefully that gives us somewhat the desired effect. Okay, lids on, shake up. All right, all done. So for each, we're going to pop the tops off and pour these out first. Okay, now here's where the money shot comes in. We're gonna try to handle that dry ice correctly and get the desired effect. Gloves on when dealing with it, so see if this works. And if it does, it's very, very important. Do not ingest the dry ice ever, and make sure that once you put it in, that like it has completely stopped fogging and whatnot before you start consuming whatever it is you're doing. We actually did something that worked!
Yay!
I feel like Doc Brown right now. Oh, this is awesome. We're gonna wait for these to settle down. I actually have no idea how long this takes. So rather than have you guys sit here and wait, we'll just maybe call it a night, and we'll tell you how they came out a little bit later in terms of flavor and whatnot. So, yay! Happy Halloween season, everybody. Episode 63. And they said the next few with the same hopeful, good, positive results are going to be coming soon and all of that as well. So, woohoo! Have a good night.